Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be talking about my haul for Free Comic Book Day. Happy Free Comic Book Day. So, today, if for those that don't know, Free Comic Book Day happens every first Saturday of May. This is a time where comic book shops they purchase these books from a lot of publishers, but they give them out for free to people that come by the shop. So they do this for multiple reasons, obviously, to get people in the store. Maybe you'll buy something else, which you should if you go to the store and get free comic books. You definitely should try to get something else if you can. They also want to make sure that people are aware of things that are coming up in the future, right? We have comic events, we have maybe little teases of storylines, and then also smaller publishers just really want to get their name out there. So it really a combination and a plethora of reasons for you to go to free comic book day. So I was lucky enough to go to a couple of shops around my area, and I was able to get a whole lot of stuff. So let's just go through all the stuff that I picked up. I'll show you guys with the other camera, and we'll go through the haul. But let's go take a look. All right, so as you can see, I got plenty of stuff. So we're gonna get into it. We'll probably go through. So all this stuff was free except for the one book in the back. We'll talk about that in a second. So first of all, we have from Marvel Comics the Blood Hunt #1 special, as well as the Uncanny X-Men. So we have a couple of things here. First of all, we have a little story that will connect into the Blood Hunt. If you have read Blood Hunt already, you kind of know what's going on here. And then in the back, we after the ads, we have a little tease at the upcoming reboot for the X-Men series. Very exciting stuff. I These are fun to pick up because you get a little bit of an idea as to what's going to be happening soon. So then, of course, it ends with here's the stuff. If you're reading the current books, you will probably get a few hints as to what may be happening. So yeah, highly recommend you check this one out. Marvel always puts out some really fun stuff. There's a few other Marvel books. We'll talk about that as we get to it. Next, we have the Free Comic Book Day Energon Universe 2024 special. This is from Image Skybound. As you can see, of course, this is for the Transformers and the Energon universe. So we have our first hint at Megatron, drawn by Ryan Utley, written by Daniel Warren Johnson. We also have a few more things here. I think we have Megatron really involved with. It looks like we have previews for also a Void Rival story. This looks like it's going to be a preview for the upcoming. Oh, what's her name here? Oh, so this is continued in the GI Joe story. So very interesting. Here in the back, you get a little bit of background on everything. So if you're deep into the Energon universe, you definitely want to check this one out. Here we have the Star Wars Free Comic Book Day special from Marvel. It has two stories: Return to Echo Base and then The Curse, written by Charles Soule and Greg Pak. And then we have really cool stuff. These are really fun to pick up. Now I don't know if these are reprints or not. I'm not current on the Star Wars line, but that's what you get here. Two action-packed stories for Star Wars. Next, from DC Comics, we have the Absolute Power Special Edition. This is a prelude to their upcoming epic event for the summer, Absolute Power. And boy, oh boy, does it kick off in a really fun way. Um, I won't go too much into details. I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't been keeping track of. We also have a little thing for the House of Brainiac, how things are going to play out in the Superman and Action Comics. And then we have a little bit of background on maybe some of the stuff, some of the characters that are going to be very important for this. So it looks like all these lines are going to converge from the Batman, the Superman, and Absolute Power. So that'll be really fun. Next, we have the Free Comic Book Day Spider-Man and Ultimate Universe special. This is another book from Marvel. It looks like we have a Peter Parker story and then also an Ultimate story by Dennis Camp, Juan Frigeri, and the Ultimates, Zeb Wells, and Ryan Stegman pencils, which is really fun. I love when Ryan Stegman does Spider-Man stuff, so this is really cool. Let's take a look here. We'll speed up a little bit to catch up on. Here we see the Ultimates. So this is just a sneak peek as to what is to come from that universe. I think as far as some of the big two, that's probably about it. We have here the Gotchaman number 0 issue from Mad Cave Studios. Gotchaman. I picked this up because I used to love this when I was a kid. The cartoon was really fun. Mad Cave is rebooting and grabbing a lot of these licenses and kind of bringing them back into the comics. So that's going to be really fun. Looks like we have 3 different stories, right? We have episode 0, the Inner Compass, and then the Rival. And as you can see, they look very different from each other. But yeah, you get some good Gotchaman uh, stories here. From Valiant, we have the Valiants, the exciting beginning of the Valiants. Now, this is probably going to give us a little bit of insight as to what Valiant is planning to do next. I'm not current on some of their lines, but I definitely recognize a few of these heroes, so that's going to be really fun to get into. From Titan Comics, we have Conan, Battle of the Black Stone. So it looks like we have, now that Titan's publishing the Conan books, we get a little bit of that story here, and maybe some of the teases that are coming up next. Starting in the fall, we seem to have a new event, so that'll be real cool. Now, from Boom Studios, The Worlds of James Tynion IV. This is encompassing a lot of the books that James Tynion is working on over at Boom Studios. Something's Killing the Children, The Woods, Memetic. Now, these are, I believe these are reprints of some of their stories, but it's still really cool to see how you can get into the universe, and you get to see little hints. Memetic is a pretty old, not pretty old, but it's relatively old compared to everything else that's in this book. So, from Dynamite Comics, we have Disney Villains Maleficent #1. This looks to be a reprint of the first issue. I already have this issue. If you go back, we have a full review for it on the channel. But this is a fun way to welcome new readers into the Disney Villains stories from Dynamite. This is by Sully, written and drawn by Sully. As you can see, they're also doing Cruella de Vil. We also, I'm wondering, yeah, Hades. They're showing you all the villains. They've done Scar. They recently launched a Hercules and a Lilo and Stitch. So yeah, really cool stuff. This is a fun issue to pick up if you want to try out some of the Disney villain stuff. Next, we have from Udon, Street Fighter versus Final Fight. Now, I'm not familiar with the Final Fight games, but I am familiar with Street Fighter. So here we have a quick story to kind of welcome you probably into maybe this upcoming crossover. I don't know if this is a reprint or not as well, but it's always fun to see the Street Fighter gang on a comic book. Now, from Viz, they always put out a manga. Of course, manga reads the other way. So it looks like this year we have a story from One Piece for Ace. And then as you can see, we go the other way here. They probably pick something that is fairly easy to understand if you're a new reader, but also enticing enough that will get you to keep going. And then here you can discover where to catch up on those. So of course, and then in the back, we have a little tease for Status Royale, which is just another other manga that they want to promote. So, and of course, in the back, some Kaiju #7 stuff. No, Kaiju #8 stuff now, and also an anime. So make sure to check that out. All right. From IDW, we have the TMNT Free Comic Book Day special. Who is the Night Watcher? The Night Watcher will launch in the future, written by Juniba. This book has art by Pharaoh Pei. I don't know if Pharaoh will be the artist for the main book, but this is definitely a nice primer for this Juniba adventure. We also have Splinter's Day Off. I believe this is a reprint of a story. This looks very familiar, by Paul Aller and artwork by Andy Kuhn. And then, of course, some good stuff here. You can see the collections, the best stuff. Turtles versus Usagi, or Turtles and Usagi Jimbo. So yeah, really cool stuff. We have some of the Last Ronin ads. Everything that IDW is doing with the Turtles, you can find in this book. From Archie Comics, we have The Curse Library Prelude. This is a reprint of a lot of really fun stuff that Archie's been doing. They do a lot of one shots. So here you can see just how you can kind of catch up with this. I believe this is all kind of encompassed into one storyline. But yeah, I've read a few of these stories. I haven't read all of them though. So the Archie Comics always have something. I definitely have read this one by Eliana Congas and Amy. I forget the writer's name. But yeah, very cool stuff. I really dig it. Yeah, a lot of these look very familiar here. So we do have an ad for the Cursed Library coming in summer of 2024. Now, something that a lot of people were hyped about that they told me I should go check it out, and this I picked up at my second shop, The Flash Gordon number 0. This is another book from Mad Cave. So Mad Cave put out two books, The Gotchaman and Flash Gordon. And this looks like it's going to be really fun. Written by Jeremy Adams with art by Will Conrad. Now, the only Flash Gordon stuff is I know is the movie, right, and the Queen song and all that. I'm really gonna take my time and check this one out. Let me see if there's any other stuff. This looks pretty cool actually for Flash Gordon. And this was just the beginning because they're gonna launch a new series in July. Also, Defenders of the Earth. I grew up watching Defenders of the Earth, the animated series. So, ooh, that's very cool. And then just some more Madness comics that you can check out. Some Mad Cave comics that you can check out. Uh, this was another book that I was highly recommended to check out. This is Johnny Quest from Dynamite Comics. Um, as you can see, this is a retelling of a, or maybe a reboot of the Johnny Quest. So we have Johnny Quest Zero, which is the exclusive for Free Comic Book Day, and also a little bit of preview for Thundercats number 1 and Space Ghost number 1. So that'll be really fun. So these are the first story is original. The second two stories are reprints of the other stuff. So very cool. We have reviews for both Space Ghost and Thundercats in the channel, so make sure to go check that out. Now, this cover is the only one that I actually had to pay for, even though it's a free comic book day. This is a special edition blank cover, so wanted to pick this up. I love getting sketches and commissions in these blank covers. It was $5. Definitely worth it. So this will be really fun to get something cool. Maybe I'll get something. Maybe I'll get one of the characters like Failsafe or Brainiac or a combination of something like that. So, but yeah, there you have it. I was able to pick up a bunch of stuff. I got my books from two places: Sanctuary Books and Games, and also from Collected at the Irving Mall. I went to catch a film, and I was already there, so I figured I'd stop by. But yeah, let me know what was your haul like for Free Comic Book Day. What interests you the most? What gets you very excited about this? So, if you pick something up for Free Comic Book Day, let me know down in the comments. And of course, stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.